I film the scene first, and then I go back and I try to find the type of music because I'm not using, I'm not writing my own music or anything. So the music is kind of to complement the scene because that's what I have more control over. So I'll create the scene, then I'll look for music because I'll have stuff in mind, obviously, while I'm making the scene. And I'll find something that matches it. And then what I really like to do is I might slow parts down or speed parts up to make it hit or line up with the music. So it seems a lot more intentional than it may be in reality, if that makes sense. But I'll try to play with it to make it work perfectly with whatever song I can find that suits it.
And so, I mean, you're telling me that you ended up trying to do this type of film, stop motion, because, I mean, of COVID, correct? And so, I know that you had inspiration, but to know exactly what to do, I mean, was this something that you really researched? Was it trial and error? I mean, how did you end up wanting to do this, and how did you go forward with it?
Yes. So when I was in probably sixth grade, I took over the summer like a week long, maybe less than that, but it was a little animation workshop at my local art museum where I made a short animation there, which was fun. I did that with my friends. So that was the only prior experience I had to animation before I started doing it, because this is my second film that I created. So I think it was really helpful to have that prior information be taught to me by someone who was a professional. And then, as of course, I have probably forgotten a bunch, and I had to do my own research and find the programs that fit me. And
So, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that think animation are cartoons and drawings. And I mean, you can definitely say that stop motion is like animation. And I think you did a phenomenal job. What is it that you could tell, you know, whether they're, older or young, what would you tell them about starting something in animation? Because I mean, I think that it could start not only with candy, but with Legos and things like that. What inspiration can you tell them when it comes to, trying this animation type of uh, directing and filming?
I think that you're going to get the best result and the most exciting success if you use real objects that you are like maybe some childhood toys, or you can even use your own body taking photos of yourself. I've seen people do that, and it turns out really well. And it's kind of interesting because you see, well, why isn't this a video? It's just a person. It could easily be a video, but going the extra effort to make it stop motion animation allows you to do so much stuff. Special effects are a bit easier. You don't even, especially if you don't know how to edit in special effects. If it's just each photo, you can make things appear in a second like that. So I think the best place to start is definitely, I started with like small toys and things like that. And that's really kind of when you see the magic behind animation, when you see something that you see every day or every month and you see it move across the screen by itself, that's really impressive.
So I know that you're really young. And so for a lot of our viewers, tell us a little bit about you, how old you are. I mean, are you still in high school? Are you in college? Because I feel as though maybe there are some viewers out there that can relate to you because of your youth and where you're from, or, are you still in high school? Are you in the university? What exactly, give us a little bio on you so that they can kind of relate.
Yes. Right now I'm a junior in high school in Kansas City, Missouri, right in the middle of the country. So I am pretty young. This is my first film that I've actually entered in film festivals outside of my local area. I've been entering mostly documentaries in my local film festival for since I was in third grade. And this is the first one that, because I aged into the new age bracket. And with that, I decided, well, why don't I just try to submit it to some other places and see where I get in?
So, what advice would you have for people your age, for whether they're girls or boys, or I mean, even adults? I mean, what type of inspirational advice can you give them?
I would say find a subject matter, first of all, that you're interested in, because that's going to make the process a lot easier. You're going to have more motivation if you're interested in finding something out or showing some people something. And then secondly, it can be really helpful when you're starting to do a group project with some of your friends or coworkers or something like that, where you know the people and you can think, well, even if the end product's not all that great, at least I had a lot of fun making it.
So I know that earlier you were talking about, you know, what is it called? The types of things that you're using. So what exactly did you use to be able to make this film? From,
So
yeah, go for it.
no problem. For a few months, I had this PVC pipe set up in my room on my floor, which was able to suspend my camera over a whiteboard. And that's how I filmed a lot of the shots where they're overhead. So it would be pointing straight down, and I would have construction paper, and I would build a background out of that, and I put the candies on it, and I could move them up, down, left, and right. The other way that I would do it is the camera would be on the ground pointing at like my wall or a piece of poster board. And then that kind of gave me the ability to move things closer and farther away from the camera and also stand things up, which you kind of would expect from Candy. So it was a combination of those two types of shots.
And so I know that you obviously you were using candy, you were using cardboard. So for a lot of filmmakers out there who think that they need a huge budget to be able to make a or create a film, what do you tell them about that? Because you were just literally using candy and cardboard.
Yes. And also the camera in your phone now is so good. I've seen incredible things be made with that. Or just stop motion animation you can do. You can download an app on your phone or your computer and create something with just like things that you can find in your room, and it can be really a great film.
And what type, just to clarify, I mean, you built that, like, there was like a stage and it kind of like all the candies are on this side and all the candies are on that side. And so, you know, you also have to have a little bit of an eye as to how you want it to be. Just like you were saying, you have the camera from the top, you have the camera from, you know, right, leveled. To be able to create that, I mean, just the surrounding part of it, let alone when they were flat. Did that take you a little bit of time? Did you get, you know, a little bit of that training of for architecture, anything like that? Artsy?
Yes, for sure, especially with the sets and especially with making the candy stand up, because a lot of that candy isn't very flat on the bottom, or and it tips over very easily. And if everything falls over, that makes it far harder, and I might just restart the scene. So I experiment with things like, for a lot of the candy, I would take out the candy and I'd put magnets in it or something like that, where I could magnet it down and it would stay up. I had another problem with there's a scene at the start where the main character, the wax bottle, kicks a soccer ball. And I thought that'd be easy to, because it would just stay wherever I put it, but it would roll because my house is on a bit of a hill and not everything's perfectly level. So I would stick two pins into the back of the soccer ball so that it would balance. But from the camera point of view, you can't really see the pins. So
I mean, I'm guessing it was a lot of trial and error, right? And
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. In the beginning, that was a little Coke bottle that you kind of put in your mouth and it squeezes out, you know, the little juice inside. But I really was thinking, how did he get that to go? Because it was somewhat walking, right? So, I mean, you literally have to think outside the box. Am I right?
Definitely. You have to play around with what can the camera see? What can I try to edit out? You can try to do things with fishing line or something to make things float, or because anything that's behind the candy, the audience can't see. So that's most of the things I use. I would either put something to prop it up or to keep pushing into the air for a split second if it wanted it to jump or something like that.
So, you know, going back to inspiration, you were mentioning what inspired you to create this film, but do you have any others that you look up to that inspire you or motivate you? And what is it that you want to do in the future?
In the future, I always want to keep filmmaking at least as a hobbyist level. I don't know what I'm still in high school. I don't know what my career path is necessarily going to be. I wouldn't complain if it did happen to do something with filmmaking. I do really enjoy that. In terms of my kind of role models in filmmaking. I mean, obviously, directors. There's a lot of great directors. Spike Lee, Guillermo del Toro are fantastic. I don't know too many animators. I know a few. In terms of, I make a lot of documentaries also. In terms of documentarian filmmaking, there's a journalist named Johnny Harris who makes really good opinion pieces, which I really enjoy watching. Is a great graphics designer.
And I mean, so what exactly do you want to do? I mean, this is, I think, your hobby, as you were saying, but what is it that you want to do? And is it kind of in the same industry, or you're just kind of doing this for sure as a hobby? And I mean, you're already getting officially selected just with your animation. And I'm not sure how you're doing with your documentaries. But if this keeps going as it is, I mean, do you see yourself doing this, or you're just going to have it as a hobby?
I can see it going either way. I definitely do see it being some sort of my career. And I'm surprised how much it comes up in things like schoolwork and extracurriculars where, oh, being able, knowing some filming or editing really is helpful. I'm involved in theater at my school too, so it's nice to be able to offer that service to help create videos and things for clubs and activities that I participate in.
So does everybody know that you're an amazing filmmaker at school, or kind of like
Big
a hush hush thing?
I don't like too much attention about it, but it does get like posted on the school website and they talk about it. And I've shown it at school to people if they ask. I'm not trying to hide it or anything, but I think there is a bit of reputation there.
And I'm wondering, do you have teachers or mentors that help you through this process as well in school?
I would say yes. I'm there. My theater director is very good. She doesn't do as much filmmaking, but in terms of directing and acting and storytelling, she's incredibly talented. My dad really likes photography and filmmaking, and he's helped me with a lot of projects in the past.
So it might run in the family, of course.
A little bit, maybe.
Well, I honestly want to thank you, Carter. I think that your film was absolutely one of my favorites in the selections.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for joining us. Now, this was a one-on-one. I honestly do appreciate it because I know that everything that you were mentioning is going to help someone out there. And that's basically what we're here to do. So thank you so much for joining us. Again, everybody, thank you so much, you at home, for watching. This is the 7th annual South Texas International Film Festival. And of course, you were just hearing a one-on-one with an incredible director, Carter Restaurant, and your film, Ruth and Nick. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.